from the premium. Here is ChainLog, and I actually didn't prepare a real analysis today. I'm going through a lot of on chain probably, and a little bit more of liquidation events. I currently did today and a free weekly analysis, so I'm going through that here, and also even more great detail with my personal chart, my personal advice that is not a financial advice, but it's my personal view of the market, and take my view as a real advice for your finances. I'm not administrating your finances, and I will never. So this is just for educational purpose only, as always. And may you learn something. I will learn from you too. Today we watched the price on the daily chart that broke through every level we signed on this chart, and we were going to the last support that I already talked about on the monthly chart. That was the 50 SMA right here, and that was my worst case scenario in case of a World War III to happen, but didn't happen, and we did capitulate below here. Even if we could argue that in Ukraine there are a lot of soldiers and guns and every other nation, so maybe in that country it is a third world war. Anyway, we touched the level I previously watched for. Could possibly be a bottom, and we see right here that we have a use demand area that goes from 13 14k to 20k. That is the shadows of the monthly candles of 2017 bull market, the end of the bull market. And this is probably for me, for my view right here, how long can we take from this? I did another post, another thread on Twitter about this, and so I'm not repeating here. You may just see that this could be a bottom for me. This for me is a bottom. I'm buying everything I can. I'm buying all coins also because why? Because if we watch the dominance right here on the daily chart, maybe so it is more obvious. It is at resistance right here. It's overextended and it hasn't retraced since now. So I bought here altcoins that are actually, even if the price is not pumping anywhere, is not going anywhere. My actual take before the last um, the last before we touched the bottom at 20k. My here last trade for these altcoins. So this is not a trade. This is more a long-term take profit that I will have a more, not really long-term, a mid-term maybe 6 to 1 year, 6 months to 1 year trade, swing trade that I most practice about, and we'll see how much, because here it's extremely undervalued. For example, I'm seeing Trias that I was buying in. It's extremely undervalued, and it is also under the 30 RSI, daily RSI, and extremely undervalued. But we can also see that week below here on 0.54 cents, and if it does, I will buy it even more for the next bull run or the next altcoin season that could happen in 1 or 2 years from now. And when I'm doing this with just 1%, 2% of my portfolio, so not really much, just a bet on the fact that this um, is going to go 10 times more, maybe 13, $20. It already did. Like um, last year, I bought it right here and here, and it got right skyrocketing right here, and I was selling all the way to the top, and then waited until it got down below, and it started a little bit here, a little bit here, actually, because that was in stop loss, a little bit here, and here I started accumulating again also on this chart, and this is extremely undervalued right now. If it goes from 50 cent to say something here, to go from for 50 cent to maybe $5, 10 um, in 1 year is a 10x in 1 year. With the 1 or 2%, if we touch the weekly RSI oversold, 10x. Okay, if it happens that this trend line right here is broken above, we could see this as a resistance. So if this is a resistance and the next year will break up above here on this trend on the this resistance too, it came to be on a resistance too, we will see that maybe at $12 at the 20x 25x from here, from the not from here but from 50 cents, and it's a lot if you think about the sub 2%, and 25x is 50x 50% of my portfolio with a 2% trade. If I go below the 2% is a risk reward of 25 on this swing trade. So I'm going of 10 to 25, so I'm going to take it actually, and for me it's a good trade anyway. For the fact that we are in a probably into a bottom right here for the Bitcoin chart, we're probably in a bottom because we have broken below every resistance possible, and we are now. I just seen what I just said. Just so that okay, if we can take it, we can take it back to the 23k, 24k on the weekly RSI. We maybe see this trend line as a support and not as a resistance. That this trend line right here, I took it from the very top of the last all-time high, and it ran all across the chart until here. And as you see, more or less, it has been respected here and here as a resistance all along. And if we can break above here, maybe a support, and we may see a 30k again. That is the next level. I'm going to sell if something is not going well again in the economy. So if nothing changes, the 30k level is actually what I'm looking for an exit. The market 30k level right here is this area. Why? Let's take it from here, because there is in fact a lot of price action now that was driven by the Luna Foundation Guard capitulation that is going to be our support build it up in 1 month of time, and even more on the same levels as before, maybe a little bit lower, even a little bit lower for this event that happened in May last year and from this in 2020. So these are the points here. For the Ethereum chart, We are extremely oversold in this chart also. We are at 200 the SMA and 200 weekly SMA. So I'm buying. Uh, I'm going to buy more right here about Ethereum. Probably or today or tomorrow. More Ethereum right here. Or more. I will split Trias and ETH. Because ETH is also undervalued as a weekly RSI right here from the FBTC chart, and we could see this FBTC going right here on 0.06 or more, but we can also see if this can happen also on the Bollinger Bands of ETH price. Okay, this case rate, but this case if Bitcoin is if USDT. So for this chart right here, we don't have actually an area of volatility, and the next big resistance is 0.08. At the same time, for the daily chart, we have for Ethereum 2,148 as a huge resistance for the Bollinger Bands. The medium Bollinger Bands, if we take out maybe the noise right here that help us too much, is 100 $1,700. And also right here for the FBTC, let's get out noise. We could even sell if we are not so sure about our trade that I bought right here. I swapped some BTC for ETH, and I will buy more here and swap again into Bitcoin as soon as I can. As soon as I take this medium Bollinger Bands, but I will watch it every day anyway. So this is what I'm doing right now in the market, and taking into account that others are going up because Bitcoin dominance was at resistance on a weekly RSI also. Even if you can take another hint is that you can take every indicator, every pattern, and it works for dominances too. It is at support, as you see, weekly RSI at support, and so we may see it getting a little bit higher. So having this FBTC as well going up until we touch here, or maybe a little bit below, as you saw right there, 0.06, maybe here, retesting this area. We'll see, because we have it right here, 0.59, 0.059. More or less is here actually. So yes, and here we could sell to try and buy it again right here, or we can wait. If we don't take it right here and we see it going down again, we can drop more Bitcoin right here on 200 SMA, as already said in the Discord before. For what I can see, USDT and USDC are hyper overextended on these charts, so we may see some of this capital that is waiting on the side of the market to enter the market when it's ready. If the FOMC meeting of tomorrow is going well, maybe we could see this charts right here, this dominance is going down, so the money re-entering in the market will help us getting a little bit lower, a little bit higher, and have a relief rally on Bitcoin, but also in ETH and every other altcoin that will follow. Maybe I pray for this, that Bitcoin will go up with its dominance, and not it go up. It will go up with the dominance coming down, because when it will be ready to stop itself and go sideways, then the dominance will, if it is already bottomed or already gone down, meanwhile BTC increases, all alts will have a difficult time if someone will keep probably at the time the most people who bought halts will do the exact things that I will do. So just sell it into BTC, and seeing this market cap dominance of BTC rising again, and all coins being destroyed even more. I want it to go up with the dominance, so when it stops, dominance go down and the others will go up, so the altcoins will have a breather. Also with ETH going up also as well. So for now, market cap is also a huge support. Market cap 2 also. We have everything we need to start a bounce right here from technical perspective analysis, and from a macro picture analysis right here, that I want to make a question right here also, is that we have touched the 200, the realized price, and the 200 weekly SMA that historically has been support for every cycle. Historically never failed, more or less. We always been up to it. So this is why I think this is a bottom, and nothing. This is it for this, because if we watch the spending right here, the A super spending, you take the A super that I like the most because it removes noises from 1 hour Bitcoins trading. Is still going down, really going down, and huge losses has been getting in the market. Liquidations yesterday were 685 million for every coin, and 343 million of longs only for Bitcoin, and 280 millions shorts. And this instead are for today's numbers. And watching this and the fact that we are here, I really don't see why we wouldn't have bottom yet. This is I have all the charts at hand to see that it has bottom, and still seeing here Bitcoin is destroyed, going downwards. So not long-term holders are not spending it right now. Are not spending at a loss. Supplying profit and loss is more or less, we could say that supplying profit and loss is has bottomed, even if not, for the reasons I already explained. We should have waited a little bit more to see it bottom. Nupol has bottomed, actually. Nupol has bottomed, and this is another metric that I use a lot. Today is bottomed, so we have a capitulation event right here. Here we'll see better. bit better right here. We have a capitulation event that touched the capitulation area of the Nupal chart as well. That historically has been a bottom. How much bottom do you want? How much confluence do we need to stop trading below? We are at realized price, below the realized price that historically has been um, another area to buy in, like here and here and here. It's actually below a little bit. It's starting right now for the first time in 2 years. I don't know how much do we need to actually assess long to short term ratio is at its lowest since the last all time high. Short term order realized price is where we could see a relief barely stopping, and it's dipping below with the price because short term orders are actually going out of the market. So it's 34k, and also maybe buying here right now, and 34k is the today's realized price for the short-term holders, and the same it could be could be said for the long-term holders realized price. That is the exact 20k that we have right here on this chart. I think we don't need any more confluence. That is this level right here. I think we don't need more confluence to say that this is the bottom. It's like inevitable for me to say this, and we can argue we already touched it because the long-term users will buy a little bit of premium, but to be sure to enter the market right here. There's still too much for me here that tells me that we are in a bottom. Too much, too much, and whales right here that had capitulated in the last in the first days of May last week helped the price to go down, obviously, but they are still trending more or less on the same pace. Ambex are still here high, but still more or less going sideways, even if helped getting the price lower. Sharks are getting obviously out of the market as well. We already knew this. Fish are starting to enter the market right here. So people who have a medium spending of 300k to 3 million, not poor people, but still there are 50 to 60 millionaires in the world, so not 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 so much, but not so bad. And also we know the shrimps and plankton. Anyway, I have too much confluence on my charts that tells me that we are in the bottom, and I I don't see why not. Why not? We are not in a bottom. If you know why we should not be in a bottom, and we maybe a week or two because of a protocol that is going to be liquidated, like Celsius or I don't know. Maybe this could happen. Maybe another panic selling, but a week, a fast week below, maybe it could happen. But this is a bottom anyway. It can go any lower if not for something that we can. I don't know that the merge failed. Okay, for example, I don't see anything that could happen more than this, more disruption in this system. The BOJ, maybe the Bank of Japan, just destroying itself on their yield curve control, or I don't know. So this is it for today, and this is everything I can tell you. Are my personal views, and I the only advice that can give you, and that is not a financial advice, only my opinion, is just tax acts. Tax acts. For now, for today is all. Cheers.